Hello, hello, and good morning. It is Wonderful Wednesday at 11:11. It is activation time. This is Everything Hypnosis with Susie Bowers. That is moi. So I have a question for you. Could a change in our beliefs, our perceptions of reality, actually give us the tools for healing, to create peace and joy and even prosperity in our lives, even to benefit and improve our relationships? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about today on Everything Hypnosis with Susie Bowers. And I'm digging into Greg Braden's book. Here it is right here. We're going to be talking a little bit about this. I love this guy because he is spiritual and he shares many, many different spiritual experiences that he's had. And he also then goes and looks at the science behind it to back it up. So he is one of my favorite authors and evolutionary leaders of our time, really. He really is amazing. And one of my favorite books of his is The Divine Matrix. So this book came after. It's called The Spontaneous Healing of Belief, Shattering the Paradigm of False Limits. We have no limits. False limits. I love it. I love it. So anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about this. So we're going to talk about how there's so much science behind this. This has been going on. Now, this book was actually written in 2008. So here we are in 2023, and there is so much scientific proof about the nature of reality and how our beliefs and perceptions will create our continuing experience. So thank you for joining me today. I'm really happy to see you. It's always a pleasure to be able to just chat about these ideas and share how we can use our minds in a more positive way instead of feeling like we're a victim of whatever's happening. This can truly, understanding some of these concepts can truly help us get out of the victim mode and be empowered, get our power back to create the life that we really desire and deserve for ourselves. So let's do this. I'm going to talk about some of the evidence. I'm going to talk about how our mind is very much like a supercomputer, except actually the truth is there is no computer on planet Earth that compares to our consciousness. And consciousness and thoughts and feelings, all energy. Everything is energy. We'll talk a little bit about that too. So one of the things that I have shared in my book, 10 Keys to Living a Soul Life, is that I studied shamanism for about 15, 20 years, a long time. And during that experience, I actually had experiences that we would probably define as supernatural. And so I was curious, and I've been having experiences like that all my life, to be perfectly honest, since I was a child. And I wanted to figure out why I'm very curious about why I would feel the way I felt, why I would see the things that I saw, and why I would travel and do some funny, weird things I can't even really describe to you when I was young, and then also growing into an adult. And then how once my life seemed to be settled a little bit, all these old subconscious programs, if you will, subconscious emotions that were deeply buried inside of me seemed to come up right up in my face when I'm, having a great life. And so what I learned about that is sometimes when we are in a peaceful space, when we're not in a peaceful space, let's say, we've got things going on, we've got family traumas, dramas, deaths, illness, divorces, losses and things like that, and we stay tough and we're strong and we do our best and we can manage to get through it. Then all of a sudden life gets kind of mellowed out and all that stuff comes up to the surface and you're wondering, why am I depressed? Why do I feel anxious? What's happening here? And so my experience being a hypnotherapist for 26 years now is that sometimes we will struggle through and get through because we are so strong and resilient. We are really emotionally strong and resilient and unbelievably so. But then life evens out and the subconscious mind goes, woohoo, now we got a chance. There's a safe space. we can try to heal these dramas and traumas, and they come up to the surface to be healed. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And then I'm going to share with you a very exciting news about who is coming up next week for the expert interview series next Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. And let's do this. All righty, let's go. Boom.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
A little energy going here. I have so much fun with that. I'm sorry, I'm kind of silly with that stuff, but it's fun and I like to get the energy going, right? Okay, so I hope that gets you going too today. All right, so reason why I brought up the shaman stuff, and really the reason what shamanism really is, it's an exploration of energy and really understanding ourselves at different levels of consciousness, different dimensions even, that are all existing here at one time. So our ancestors, the ancient ones, they knew about this and they talked about it readily. It was part of their daily life. Everything revolved around spiritual experience, spiritual energy, and it was just a common day-to-day thing, and then the healer in the tribe would be the shaman, or the person that would be able to see the energy field where the dis-ease in the body was, or the dis-ease in the spirit that would be causing someone to be having challenges and problems. So hang on here a second. I'm going to check some of this technology, make sure we are on live. If you can hear me, go ahead and let's feel free to send me a chat. Okay, let's see here. I don't know if it's going live in this group here. So I'm going to go to a different group and just double check. Actually, I think I'll go to my profile. All right. So thank you for bearing with me here. I just like to check. Sometimes the technology is a little bit dicey. Okay, it looks like we're definitely live in my profile, so that's good. All right. So they back in thousands of years, and it's not even been that long. We're talking about technology hit the world 100 years ago, basically. I mean, like electricity and cars and stuff like that. So for all the decades, centuries, and eons before that, millennia, this is the way of life of people, was energy and living with nature, and being very subtly aware of the subtle changes in nature, following the seasons and the vibrations and the rhythm of Mother Earth and the stars and everything. So what I'm talking about really it's nothing new. I mean, it kind of makes me laugh because 20 years ago we called this stuff the New Age stuff. But it's not new at all. It's actually old and ancient, and a kind of a rekindling or a revival of the ancient wisdom and ancient technology. Well, today with technology and science, the scientists and the physicists and quantum physics and all that is proven what these ancient mystics already knew, that everything is energy, our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs. And I love to talk about it. I talk about it with my clients all the time. And so there is a huge body of scientific evidence that proves this, that we are like giant supercomputers, and we have the ability to heal ourselves if we change our beliefs, if we change our thoughts and our perceptions about what we believe is true. So my son and we were just talking about this morning, that what we believe is true often isn't. That we're multidimensional, that he's young and he gets this. He totally gets this. That what we perceive in the moment is based on all of our past experience and what we think is true for us at that time. It may not be true, though. So we begs to ask the question, whenever you are believing in something and you think you're right about it, it's a great time to ask those curious questions. Am I right about this? And where is this belief coming from? And what would I have to have experienced in my past for this to be true to me? and really questioning that. So, um, let's talk about the how our minds are like supercomputers, because really everything is consciousness. We are consciousness, and we are physically manifested energy that took great intention. And this consciousness is not only within our body and our DNA and each cell in our body, but it's also around us. It surrounds us, this consciousness. And on that level, we are all connected. We are all connected. So why is this important? Why do we want to have this conversation? The reason why I like to talk about it is because our consciousness, our beliefs, our thoughts, actually affect the people around us, our environment. So the more enlightened and loving and kind your energy field and your thoughts, and getting out of the victim mode, the higher level you go, the higher it is for everybody. You actually uplift the vibration of the environment you're in, including the people, the plants, the building, the air, and your pets, even your pets and plants. And this has all been measured now. So it's really, really cool. So we can use this information to alter and change our life in a really positive way. So a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the subconscious mind. So I'm going to see if I have the mind model in here still. If I do, I'll pop it up here. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I do. All right. So this is a model of the mind that I talk about all the time. And you can see this in different ways. In fact, my friend Victoria, she has got a similar model in her book right here, which is really cool, talking about the conscious level, the critical faculty. She calls it the critical factor, and then the subconscious level. So basically, we're just in alignment on what we believe about this. A lot of people have put this together, but our who we believe we are, this little less than 5% conscious ego mind, is our personality self. It's always judging. It's always making up ideas that it thinks are true. And the subconscious, which judges nothing and has no opinion, then gives us more of whatever we're thinking about. So how do beliefs come into play here? So I described this before, these pluses and minuses that you see here in the subconscious, or 95% level. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Those are our past experiences that we have perceived as good or bad. So some of them are really good and fantastic and woohoo, great life experiences. And then other of our experiences are more like, ugh, yuck, horrible, right? Painful, being abandoned, bad breakups, getting beat up, whatever, failing at something. And so we start these experiences, and also the experiences of our family members actually get stored in the subconscious level of our mind. So why is this important? Well, first, it's important to know that that 95% number is a lie. So I'm lying to you. I'm sorry. I put even numbers here because it kind of makes more sense to the logical mind. But when we dig into this as energy and as a computer kind of model, that really the subconscious mind, your subconscious mind, is unlimited. It is not limited at all. There's no 95%. It's infinity. It is unlimited. It has unlimited storage, unlike a physical computer that I'm sitting here talking to you on right now. There is no limit to what it can store. And here's an interesting thought that you can, if you want to, you can kind of chew on it, because you might have a belief around this that is probably not true. So you can get curious about it, or you can stick with your belief. It's completely your choice. But since we know from quantum physics that energy never dies, it never dies. It cannot die. It can transform, and that's what it does. So if something's energy appears to die, and this has been done in experiments the US government have done, it appears to die, but it doesn't. It actually transforms into something else and comes sort of back to life. So if that's the case, and we are energy and everything is energy, then perhaps we never die. We just transform into something else. Well, what something else is, we're not really sure, but there certainly is a lot of people's experiences. Excuse me. There's a lot of experiences out there that show that we go somewhere else, that our consciousness stays intact, and we actually go somewhere else that is non-physical, like right here in our physical body. So in that case, if we say that's true, then it could also be true that we have experiences from forever, infinity, not just being here, human Susie or human you, but being unlimited, being other versions of yourself in other ways. So it's a lot to think about and chew on. And there certainly is a huge body of evidence that says this is true. But what do you believe? So if you don't believe it, then it's not going to be true for you. Then you're going to be finite and you're going to think of this current experience as yourself, as the end, the beginning, and the end, and that's it. There's nothing else. You die and you're done. They're done. But if you can shift your beliefs a little bit, kind of go, well, maybe if energy really can never die, then what if? What if I do transform? So here's what happens by just asking a beautiful and curious question like that, instead of staying completely stuck in an old belief that you have got stored down there in your subconscious from someone else, from a family member, coworker, parents, grandparents, whatever their belief system, and kind of passes through energetically to you. But let's say you suspend that for a minute and you ask these curious questions. What happens is it opens up a little doorway in your mind. So we all have this filter in our brain that filters information. I've heard it called a few things, but one that sticks in my mind is the reticular activating system, which is actually a physical filter in a part of your brain, in the amygdala, or in the emotional center of our brain. And this filter filters information. It filters information all day long, because look at our little conscious mind. Our little conscious mind cannot handle all that is available for us to experience. So how does this filter in our brain decide what it's going to let into our experience? This is really key to this. What is it going to allow in to our experience today? So right now, you have the opportunity to experience millions. I've heard it said 2 million bits of sensory data per second. I've heard it be 20 million. I mean, nobody really knows for sure. They've estimated it. But out of all the information that you could experience right now, how does your brain, this filter, decide what it's going to let into your awareness? You probably guessed it, your beliefs about what you think is true. So if you believe something is true, then it is true for you. Isn't that interesting? Does it mean it's true for me? Not necessarily, because I may be having a completely different set of information coming into my awareness that you don't even have access to, based on these beliefs you're holding from your past experiences that are held in the subconscious mind. I'm going to take this one step further, because what's really interesting about this is that the subconscious is in charge of every cell in your body, right down to your DNA. And so that means that your consciousness, your beliefs, your experiences, your emotions, everything is stored in your physical body. And this is what Greg Braden talks about a lot. And he's shown places in some of his videos where just by intention and no surgery at all, they've literally shrunk tumors in 15 minutes. And they show it live with an ultrasound machine to somebody who was terminally ill with this tumor. And it's just changing our belief and changing that intention, and understanding that everything in our body is energy. And that energy is tied directly to our emotions, what we believe is true, our subconscious programs is what we call those: beliefs, obstacles, blocks, things that get you stuck because of those beliefs that are held at the cellular level. It's crazy how amazing we are, how really unlimited we are. And we have barely even begun to tap into this. And it frustrates me because there's so much good work like this out here. Like a kind of funny thing happened. I'm just going to share a kind of quick funny thing. So this is Greg Braden's book, but there are so much good scientific information going on right now that has been the last 20 years. So I've had several clients in a row who've come in here and we're doing our consultation and getting signed up for their program, ask me after I go through this mind model with them, which I've been doing for 26 years, have you ever heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza? And I'm like, no, I've heard his name, but I don't know anything about him or his work. So this happened several times back to back. And basically, I'm wondering, why are they asking me about this? So I wrote his name down on a sticky note so I'd remember to go look him up. And because I'd heard about him. Anyway, funny story, I never did. So a few weeks goes by, another few weeks, and someone else comes in and they're like, oh gosh, this is so much like Dr. Joe Dispenza. Have you ever read his stuff? And I'm like, no. So I'm having these coincidences or synchronicities, which we know those are kind of the law of attraction thing, right? It's like, hello, you're getting a repeated message here. You better pay attention. And then I'm sitting on my couch. So one of my morning rituals is I like to get my coffee, feed my dog, and my dog and I sit and we read good stuff. I try to put good stuff in my mind every day. And I turn on YouTube. And on YouTube, I put on like, a meditation thing or maybe one of those scenery music things. They're just relaxing and it just kind of starts the day really positively. And I'm petting my dog and we snuggle. And so I turn on my YouTube and there's a video of Dr. Joe Dispenza in the middle of all my meditation stuff. It's like really random because it was totally, more like this nonfiction sort of thing where the meditation is more fictional. And I'm like, there's that guy, Dr. Joe Dispenza. I, you know, I looked at my dog and I said, Pebbles, maybe this is a sign that we need to listen to this guy. So anyway, I turned on Dr. Joe Dispenza and I was blown away. And so I ended up ordering a couple of his books, and this is his most recent, Becoming Supernatural. And he has done these amazing experiments, and including working with the Heart Math Institute, which I've been familiar with the Heart Math Institute for a long time, but he has done these experiments that are actually in controlled environments, measuring energy and brainwave activity during meditation and changing our thoughts and changing our beliefs. And just mind blowing, because everything I've been talking about for 26 years is in this book, Becoming Supernatural. So, and it's also in my book, 10 Keys, but I talk more from experience and a little bit of science because I wrote this back in 2010, but nothing like this thing. It's just so good. So I recommend that highly. It is kind of higher reading. It's not, if you want to just read something easy, read my book. If you want to really dig into the science and stuff, then read Dr. Joe's book. Really, really good stuff. Anyway, so those kind of synchronicities are also energy. It's also the way our subconscious communicates with us that it's time to do something or take action. And that's what the subconscious does because it has one priority only, and that is to protect us from danger. So to protect you from danger and keep you healthy, safe, and alive. And that's what it does. It doesn't have an opinion about anything, but beyond the subconscious is also our higher consciousness, or some people call the superconscious, or the connection to your higher self. So your higher self being that connection to the superconscious, which is outside of the circle and everywhere all the time that we are a part of. And so messages will come through your subconscious mind to be guiding you along in your life experience, just like that. So I am going to touch on a few things here in this book, Spontaneous Healing of Belief, A User's Guide to the Universe. Kind of interesting. So here are some belief codes that you can change. Let me take this down. And so you can start to change these beliefs here in the subconscious. And here's belief code number 1. I don't know if I'm going to go through all of these, but I'm going to get started because I think that it will really help you. I hope it does. Experiments show that the focus of our attention changes reality itself and suggests that we live in an interactive universe. That's right. That's kind of what I was talking about in the beginning of this. Is our ancestors knew that they lived in an interactive universe. Somehow in the last 100 years, we got off track with that. We have been off track with our interaction with planet Earth, with the plants, the animals, trees, the wind, the rain, everything, being being in that shamanic world. So experiments show this, but it's funny. People knew this for the thousands of years and up until now. Isn't that funny? So now, apparently, we have to have science to back all that up. Belief code 2. We live our lives based on what we believe about our world, ourselves, our capabilities, and our limits. So in the back of here, he talks about becoming unlimited, recognizing that we are unlimited. Shattering the paradigm of false beliefs. That's what it was. That's what I was getting at. Shattering the paradigm of false beliefs. So if you believe that you're limited, then guess what? You're limited. If you believe you're unlimited, then you become unlimited. And the truth is, we have no limits because of this energetic connection with everything. So I hope if you're getting something out of this, drop me a note. Say, hey, I'd love to hear your thoughts about what I'm talking about. So I'm going to repeat that one because I like it so much. We live our lives based on what we believe about our world, ourselves, our capabilities, and our limits. Let me give you an example. This one cracks me up because we all do, and I think you probably will relate to this. If it's not you, it'll be somebody that you know. Okay, so you get in the car and you're driving, right? You're going from your house to your office or the store or the gas station, whatever. And you get in your car and you have the belief, maybe it's below the surface or maybe it's closer to the surface, but your belief is that drivers are idiots. Everyone around here, they're just out to get you. They're just idiots. They're stupid. They don't follow the rules. And, I've heard people say this. So I get in a car with somebody and I hear this stuff. Oh my God, that guy almost hit me. That guy's an idiot. Oh my God, these people out here are crazy. So you have that belief. Guess what happens? It becomes true. It becomes true. And that's all the energy. So we talk about the law of attraction. That is it. You are vibrating at the vibration and belief in your body, in your mind, that drivers are idiots. And so because you have that belief, you start bringing that experience in. The subconscious just lets that right through your filter because that belief is in the subconscious mind. So it becomes true for you. On the other hand, you could do the opposite of that. You could be in a completely different space. You get in your car and you think it's a beautiful day. I love people. Everyone's doing the best they can. And we're all in this together. And, I'm going to have a smooth little ride to my office. And people are going to be nice at the gas station. Or, sometimes people are having a bad day. And that's okay. So you have that belief. Nothing happens. You don't have someone running a red light in front of you or almost hitting you. And if you did, you're not going to be like, oh my God, what an idiot, because you don't have that belief in there. Your belief is, oh, they're doing the best they can. And then you're just happy and you get where you're going. See the difference in those beliefs? That's what you allow through your filter. Anyway, so I just love that. That is just one example that I see all the time. It's like when you have road rage, you attract more rage. Because your belief about it is how you live your life. It's exactly how you live it and what you let into your experience. Belief code 3. Science is a language, one of many that describe us, the universe, our bodies, and how things work. Belief code 4. If the particles that we're made of can be in instantaneous communication, now this has been proven in scientific studies, and he talks about one of those. So our particles, energy, basically particles that we're made of can be in instantaneous communication with one another, be in two places at once, and even change the past through choices made in the present, then we can as well. So there have been experiments through the U.S. government, and then beyond that with the Heart Math Institute and some other organizations that basically proved that that's the case. So particles can be in instantaneous communication. It doesn't matter how far apart they are. And with one another, they can be in two places at once and even change the past through choices made in the present. That's what hypnotherapy is about. We can change and completely reframe the past by using the power of our own mind. And that's what I love about it. So things you've been holding on to in your subconscious, all that emotion we were talking about, that comes to the surface to you're like, whoa, what's happening? I was happy a minute ago. Now what? You can change it by using hypnotherapy for this reason. Belief code 2, our beliefs have the power to change the flow of events in the universe, literally to interrupt and redirect time, matter, and space, and the events that occur within them. Whoa, that's how powerful our belief structures are. They have the power to change the flow of events in the universe. That's amazing. So, you think maybe it's a good idea that we take a moment and get curious about what we believe is true? I think it's really important. And in that way, we can empower ourselves and stop being victims of our beliefs that we've been holding on to like a backpack full of rocks that we carry around every day that is creating more of that same experience. And remember I said before that you healing yourself, you taking time out to question your beliefs about what's true and what's real is so important because once you can shift them into something more positive and healthy for you, it uplifts the whole environment because right here, our beliefs have the power to change the flow of the universe. It's that important that we take this time out and learn these principles. So belief code 2. This is really interesting. And this is the last one I'm going to talk about because there's more, but I just think this is enough. It's like, just as we can run a simulated program that looks and feels real, right? Like with a computer, studies suggest that the universe itself may be the output of a huge and ancient simulation. I can't talk. Ancient simulation, a computer program. Oh my gosh, that began long ago. That makes me think of the movie The Matrix, doesn't it you? If so, then to know the program's code is to know the rules of reality itself. Oh my gosh, that is so powerful. Wow. Very interesting. And I'm going to skip down here to belief code number 9 because this one's really good too. If the universe is made of repeating patterns, then to understand something on a small scale provides a powerful window into similar forms on a grand scale. Nature uses a few similar, self-similar, and repeating patterns, fractals, to build atoms into the familiar patterns of everything from elements and molecules to rocks, trees, and us. Wow, good stuff. Very, very thought-provoking, spontaneous healing of belief. It was published back in 2008, so it's been around a while. It's nothing new. Greg Braden, he is just amazing, the work that he does. And then also Dr. Joe Dispenza, which is, I love the synchronicity around that. Well, I have really enjoyed spending this time with you. Thank you for joining me. I'd love to hear from you. Please tell me your thoughts, drop a note. If you want to find out more about hypnotherapy and how maybe we could work together, I would love to do that. I have some exciting news. So next week on Everything Hypnosis, I have a really special guest coming. You're going to love her. I am so excited that I got to meet her at HypnoThoughts last year, but she was also part of the Global Hypnotherapy Summit, and she won an award as Author of the Year. She has written some really cool books, and this is one of my favorites. The Practical Law of Attraction by Victoria Gallagher. So Victoria is going to be joining me next Wednesday at 11:11. That is going to be February 22nd. And we're going to have a good time talking about her law of attraction and her courses and things that she does to help people with her work. And I mean, this book's really good. I highly recommend you get a copy of it I think she has it on Amazon. But you know what? I'm kind of mad too, because I didn't get her to sign this when I saw her because she was very busy teaching and stuff. All right. And then one last thing, I will be going live at 12:30 in the Hypno Professional Facebook group today at 12:30 to talk about. So if you're a hypnotherapist, you're a coach, you're a holistic practitioner, and you are trying to figure out the systems for creating a successful business, I will be live at 12:30 today in the Hypno Professional group on Facebook. But also, this is really, really exciting. So this is the final book cover. Yay! It was a tough call. I had so much good feedback for all the different covers that we came up with. And this is the one that we're going to be using, and very, really, really excited. So we're really close to going to print on this, and I'm going to be letting you know. I'm going to be doing a pre-launch for the book, Six Figure Success System, and I will ask for you to help me out with that and get a very discounted copy on Kindle and write me a review. So very excited. All right. Well, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you later. Here, let's do this one. I'll see you later. Have a great day. Love you. Bye.